So welcome to our Elevate Yourself through the lessons of David HaMelech in the Tehilim. And we are now going to approach perek bet. So perek bet. Look, I think we have some over there. Yep. Sharon, would you like to read in Hebrew the perek bet?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And maybe Daniel, you can read in English after? Do you have the perek with you? No, but so that we need to have it in English also. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, do we have it in the-
Yeah, you should have it over there.
Who designs these? You do it
Yeah,
on Canva?
yeah.
You do everything, I see.
Yeah, I have to hire people. No, now I have Sarah who helps me, thank God, with the Midrasha.
Yeah.
I would not be able to have the Midrasha without Sarah. She helps me so much. Baruch Hashem. It is, thank God. So you want to read?
Yeah, sure. I thought do you want to further do it?
No, we're going to start because we have to end in 20 minutes.
Oh. The whole thing?
Mhm.
למה רגשו גויים ולאומים יהגו והתייצבו מלכי ארץ ורוזנים נוסדו יחד על השם ועל משיכו. ונתקע את מוסרותינו ונשליכה ממנו אבותינו. יושב בשמיים משחק השם ילעג למו, אז ידבר אלינו ואפו וחרונו יבהלנו. ואני נסחתי מלכי על ציון הר קדשי. אספרה אל חוק השם אמר אליי בני אתה, אני היום ילדיתיך, שאל ממני בעדנה גויים נחלתך וחוזתך אפסי ארץ. תרואיהם בשבט ברזל ככלי יוצר תנצם. ועתה מלכים השכילו ילבשו זכותי הארץ. עבדו את השם ביראה ודילו בירדה, נשקו בר פן ינה ותורתו דרך כי עבר כמעט אפו אשרי כל חוסקו.
Thank you so much. Would you like to read Daniel in English?
You want me to read the whole thing and
Yeah.
start to stop?
Yeah, no, it's
the
fine.
whole
You
thing?
can, yeah.
Why have nations gathered and why do kingdoms think vain things? Kings of the land stand up and nobles take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. Let us break their bands and cast off their cords from us. He who dwells in heaven laughs. The Lord mocks them. Then he speaks to them in his wrath, and he frightens them with his sore displeasure. But I have enthroned my king on Zion, my holy mount. I will tell of the decree the Lord said to me, you are my son. This day have I begotten you. I will make nations your inheritance and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with an iron rod. Like a potter's vessel, you shall shatter them. And now, you kings, be wise, be admonished. You judges of the earth, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with faith. Arm yourselves with purity, lest he become angry and you perish in the way, for in a moment his wrath will be kindled. The praises of all who take refuge in him.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sharon and Daniel. So we are about to learn perek bet. Okay. So it's the second chapter that David HaMelech decided to place again, like it was not compiled in the way it was written, right? He chose with a certain objective to put those chapters in this order. We said the first message that he sends us with perek Aleph was, be mindful of the influence. Be mindful of the influence of others, remember? And second thing that we learned from perek Aleph was also, be also mindful of the power of your mouth, of your speech. So those were the two first classes. And now he is giving us a beautiful lesson of life. He's speaking about we're going to take 2 lessons of this perek. The first lesson will be on the mission of Am Israel, and the second we'll see next week, Bezrat Hashem, on bitachon. Okay. So when we look at the 5 books of the Torah, we see a progression in the development of the Jewish people. In Bereshit, we speak about individuals. We speak about Adam HaRishon, we speak about Noach, we speak about Avraham Avinu. But with Avraham Avinu starts the history of a little group, okay? The Yivrim. We have Yitzchak, Yaakov, but we don't speak about Israel or the Ivri nation yet, right? All this moment from Bereshit and even during Shemot, but especially during Bereshit, we see individuals. We don't see a nation. And now in this perek, David Emeler speaks about the nation. So let's try to understand first, what is that nation? Thank you. There's something else coming up. That's just for me because I'm allergic to what is coming after. That's why. Yeah. Okay, so it's very interesting to see that in Shemot, we see the 12 Shvatim, the 12 tribes of Israel, but they are still tribes. They are not united, right? And when they enter Mitzrayim, they are still not united. They are still tribes, separated. What is going to create that union? Matan Torah, the gift of Torah. When Hashem takes out the Bnei Israel, the sons of Yaakov, out of Egypt, right? He first makes a selection. Well, they do make a selection by the choices that they make to have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu or not. We know that only 1/5 of, only 20% of the Ivrim who were enslaved in Egypt after 210 years decided to leave and to follow Rav Emunah. The other 80% were dead during the Makkah. During the Makkah of darkness. Okay. So we see that the creation of Am Israel is linked. So he takes them out. And the problem at that moment is that Am Israel is still not Am Israel. It's just individuals. And not only individuals like we saw in Bereshit, but in Shemot we discover individuals that have survived a slavery, right? And therefore during 210 years, they were focused on one thing only, survival. And we know that when we are in a survival mode, we only have space for 1%, ourselves. Imagine 210 years is like 10 generations. During 10 generations, the Ivrim, who were good people with amazing midot, with outstanding midot, traits of character, have been enslaved and were forced to focus on themselves, to become somehow selfish. Why? Because they needed to survive, right? We today know survivors of Holocausts, right? They have been for 4 years or 5 years in death camps. They have survived that. And they explain during those moments what it's like to be dehumanized and to have to really like make sure that you keep that little piece of bread and think about yourself somehow. It's very rare people who were able to make space for others in this environment. So imagine 10 generations like that. The Torah tells us they had been to the 49th degree of impurity. They had reached the 49th degree of impurity out of 50. So they were at the lowest thing. What saved them is their emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the fact that they kept their Ivri names, their Hebrew names, their language, and their dress, the way they were dressing up. Okay, this is what saved them. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he makes them he saves them from Egypt. And now he has selfish people, individual peoples who are survivors, right? And he needs to help them regain those 49 steps of spiritual purity. So he takes them in the desert. Why? Because in this desert, there's nothing that can distract them. And he is going to provide for all their vital needs. He's going to provide for food with the manna. He's going to provide for water with the well of Miriam. He's going to provide with their clothing and launder their clothes with the clouds of glory that will also like wash their clothing, and the clothing will not only be washed but will grow with them, right? So they have nothing physical to take care of. Those people who are in a survival mode suddenly switch to a state where they are being pampered by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because he wants them to focus not on the material, not on the physical, but on the spiritual. They need to get a training of becoming an Ivri again, preparing to become Am Israel. And what is Am Israel? We're going to see it in a few seconds, okay? So he's preparing them, and it takes 49 days from Pesach to Shavuot, right? 49 days, each day a different step towards spiritual greatness, towards spiritual purity, okay? And finally, on the 50th day, he gathers them on Har Sinai, and he gives them the Torah. What made the oneness, the unity, the Ardut of Israel, what made them become a nation is the Torah. The Torah is what united them, made them one. So when we speak today about Am Israel, we have to realize that Am Israel is intimately related to the Torah. We cannot speak about Am Israel and eluding the Torah. It is the essence of Am Israel. This is what created. It is the glue to that nation. Without the Torah, we're just individuals. With the Torah, we are Am Israel. And why is it so important to realize? David HaMelech is giving us tools for life. We saw, be careful about the influences. This is so important because you can work on yourself for many years. Something's wrong? For many years. But if you are surrounded by Reshaim, if you are surrounded by people who have no idea about what you're talking about, if you're surrounded by people who have very poor behaviors, right? Who do not know that you have to respect your wife, who do not know how to speak with their kids. At one point you can, thank you so much. You can, oh, she's so sweet. So those are sushis. She was able to make them. So cute. I forgot what I was saying. So at that point, you cannot maintain that level of greatness surrounded by people who do not have your values, your value system. So that's the first lesson. Then the other lesson is be careful what you say, because when you say something, it has an impact. You're creating. You have that power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You were created B'Tselem Elokim. You have that same power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to create or to destroy with your words. Second thing. Now he's telling us, okay, remember who you are. You are Am Israel, and you are an Am Kadosh. You are a nation Kadosh. What does Kadosh means? We became Kadosh on Har Sinai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu proposed to us to become distinguished. That's what kadosh means. From any other nation. When you go to a marriage, to a wedding, you have the Khatan who is going to ask his Kala, Ariat Mekudeshet li. Would you like to be Mekudeshet? Would you like to be Kadosh to me? Would you like to be different, distinguished from any other woman? Our relationship will not be the one that will not be Haisa, will not be like any other relationship. And that's why when we speak about Tarat HaMishpacha, there are laws that a woman who is a Nida has with her husband that she doesn't have with anybody else. When someone is a Nida, she can pass a bottle to even the chief rabbi of Israel, it doesn't matter, but she cannot pass the bottle to her husband.
That's so awkward though, also because like we'll be like at the Shabbat table and then like, you know, my husband can't pour the wine for us, then it's like people know they're done. So
No, because there are ways to do it. So he doesn't, nobody knows. But this is just to understand what is Kadosh. We are an Am Kadosh. And our mission, right, is what? Is to be a light for the nation. Is to be a light for the nation. Is to be an Or Lagoim. And it is so important to envision that mission. Hashem is expecting from us. He gave us that Kedusha. He gave us that ability to bring light to this world. And today, we can see that the darkness is in the entire world. What is the light? What is to shed light on something? Is to bring clarity. A lot of people need clarity those days. They don't see the emet. They don't see the truth. And Torah is emet. The Torah is emet. Is the only way for us to bring light in this world is to be Am Israel. And again, it's related, very intimately related to the Torah. When a Jew is walking in the path of Hashem, respecting the Torah, this is when his light is on. This is what illuminates his light. Why do we celebrate Chanukah? What is the miracle of Chanukah? What is it? Who were the Maccabim? They were Kohanim. They were the religious Jews of that time. They were the few Jewish people who had not been Hellenized, who had not been influenced by Greece. Today, when we celebrate Chanukah, we have to remember, we stand with being a frum Jew. Those were the frum Jews who fought against secular Jews and Hellenism, Greek culture. So when we celebrate Chanukah, we have to remember, what is the light? Who brought light? Where did that miracle come from? It came from them being the last holders of that light. There is no Reform Judaism. There is no conservative Judaism. This is the Torah. This is the Torah. This is the light of the world. And we are holding it because we are an Am Kadosh. And we are here to reveal the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How are we going to expect Mashiach to come? What is Mashiach? The concept of Mashiach is the revelation of the light of Hashem. Knowing that we each own one piece of that light. If we don't turn on our own light, how can we expect Mashiach to be revealed? We need our light to be on, and we need to help others to bring on their lights, to turn on their lights, to feed themselves with Torah in order to be enlightened. and in order to be where Hashem expects them to be, in order to turn on that light in this world and to reveal Hashem from the inside out. Okay? So this is one lesson of Perek Bet, and it's already 11:30, and we are starting our inspirational lunch today, Bezrat Hashem. This lunch has been sponsored by the Benodis family and Getzo family, Le'ilui Nishmat, their beloved mother and wife, Sylvia Saada Bat Ruby. Sylvia Saada Bat Ruby. The Benodis family is the owners of Crudo and Fresco, not Crudo, sorry, Fresco, Asiatico, and Kosh and Rustico. Okay, so thank you, Sandra, for sponsoring today, and we're going to start our lunch.